Hello everybody, it's VerticalSandwich. So I wanted to show you just some things we are getting done in the interim here. A lot of this video is gonna be devoted, the second half of this video is gonna be devoted to stat maxing, which is something we're doing with the extended W item trick. So, we'll go through that and show you where to get all the sources that you want to use to max your stats. Which we did, I maxed it out on every character. And we'll talk about that. Now, also, we did a lot of materia grinding, just a ton of materia grinding, and cleaned up some loose ends. So, this video is just put in here to show you Bahamut and Bahamut Zero being mastered, and to give me a little introduction time. So, the red bouncy enemy things in this area where you want to grind for AP, the super AP grinding enemy, you can morph them into protect rings. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's not something that at this level we really, you know, we really need to be all that concerned with. But, you know, for an item, it's pretty awesome. Especially with so little, you know, effort. Now, I'm going to show you, when we mastered Knights of the Round, which is a crazy hard thing to do, we mastered a whole bunch of materia, and I'm just going to run through that, too. And then we're going to, do some other stuff involving enemy skill materias and stuff. So we just beat the crap out of these guys, and we end up mastering, like, 4 materias at once, or 5. It's just ridiculous. Stuff I didn't even have equipped with the point of, like, even worrying about mastering it. And Yuffie's just a killing machine. I mean, just ridiculous. So there we go. Throw, Knights of the Round, W summon, added effect, and double cut. Alright, so in this video we'll also be cleaning up the 3rd enemy skill materia. If you want to get Death Sentence, you get it from these bound fats outside of in the Corel Valley area, which is the area on your way to the City of the Ancients, the Forgotten Capital. These guys are also important because they're a great source of dazers, so which is an amazing. It's an item that paralyzes things. It's gonna be very useful later on. So I know I've been saying that for like 20 videos or something, but you'll see. But they cast Death Sentence, so we need that on our 3rd enemy skill materia. We need that, and we need Laser, which we got really early, when we only had 2 enemy skill materias. And Laser, I was a little surprised, because Laser you actually get out of the Northern Crater. Alright, and I went back to Junon, because I needed to buy something. You can dig this up at Bone Village, or you can buy it. But a lot of stuff had changed. So, like, this guy added a bunch of new girls. I heard more girls after hearing that the world's coming to an end. I keep getting more and more in debt. So it's not. I was actually looking for a weapon for Vincent that you can dig up at Bone Village called the Butt Line. But you can also just buy it at Junon. So I went and found out where you could buy it. But, like, ran into some really weird stuff that, like, you wouldn't normally. Yeah, I would charge you for a smile. And she's, like, one of the original ones. Buy that, cutie. Look, why not forget about Meteor Weapon for now and do a little impulse shopping? Yeah, I'll do that. Why don't you surround yourself with young girls and have some fun, maybe for the last time? Please go to the counter. Yeah, so some of the girls are the same. Some of the girls have changed. And then this guy is. I used to be a soldier. Recently I felt like dressing up like this. Jeez. I don't know why. It's out of season, but. So he is not participating in the reunion. Now, a lot of these items have changed, but they're all things that we got other places and stuff like that. It's not. Yeah, none of this stuff is anything we really need. In fact, the Bunt Line is not something we need either. It's just something that I decided to collect for the sake of collecting. and just ran into these kind of interesting changes. And I'm sure that that's probably the case with a lot of places. I mean, you know, if you go to Costa del Sol, you get kind of different, like the kids have stopped playing soccer, they're all staring at the sky because meteors up there and stuff. It's very weird. I'm sorry, I've decided to close this place down. All my regular customers are killed by weapon. Like, oi. Now, we should have probably done this when we went to do the underwater reactor stuff, but, like, getting the guidebook. But we didn't. We didn't do that. Now, this actually is a little out of sequence because the next thing we're going to show after this video clip is us digging up the mop for Sid at Bone Village. And I actually did that first and was trying to dig up this thing as well. And just couldn't get it. Couldn't make it work. Because Bone Village is kind of a hit or miss. Like, you can guarantee the spots where things are. And get, like, infinite elixirs and stuff like that from digging at the same spot over and over. But, I mean, the W item trick makes all of that stuff obsolete. The only things you need to get out of there are the bunt line and the mop. And really, the bunt line you can just buy where we find it, so. Which I believe is right here. We're running out of time in this clip, so it's got to be right here. They're not going to get me down, not me. Even bad customers. Like, awesome. I like your attitude, lady. And there it is. It's a crap weapon. Like, we're way beyond it. It's a double growth weapon, though. I should say that, I suppose. It's got that going for it. The mop is also, it's like a giant, it's like a full slot weapon with horrible stats. So, but we got it for the sake of, for completionist's sake. So, Bone Village, and then we went back, like, we had to go back into the Northern Crater to get Laser. And then we're just going to deal with the extended W item trick, which is just ridiculous. So here's where you dig for the mop, apparently. And there it is. Just in case you're, you know... How do you get the mop, vertical sandwiches? I'm like, here you go. Alright, Laser is the last enemy skill we needed to get on our last enemy skill, Materia. We got it in the right before the fight with Dime. And since we can't go back to that area, this is our best, you know, this is our best alternative. So we just need to manipulate this Dark Dragon. Alright. He's not such a tough customer when you're, you know, all crazy over-leveled and stuff. So, Dragon Force and Laser are his options. Both of which I believe are learnable enemy skills. That may make him the only enemy that has two of them. So, that's that. Alright, so, now, what you've got to do, there are 4 sources that you can infinitely reproduce, well, up to 99, by using the W item trick. And what you have to do is you have to put an item you don't mind losing that you only have one of in your inventory, at the top of your inventory. And an item below it you have more than one of. And then what you have to do is you have to morph an enemy that will give you a source. It can't be the last enemy in a battle. There has to be more than one enemy in the battle, because otherwise the battle will end and it will interrupt your deal. So we're going to replace this potion. And then once it pops into your inventory where the potion was, you do the circle X, circle, you know, confirm, cancel over and over. And what it's doing is duplicating it thinks it's duplicating the potion. But you're actually duplicating the source. And you can just do that over and over. All you got to do is have, you know, more single items that you want to replace. We used a potion. What I strongly suggest, because we're in the Sunken Galnica, there are 2 you can get out of the Sunken Galnica, the speed source and the luck source. what I suggest you do is buy one of each of the greens for chocobos. Because you can just replace them, go back, buy them again, replace them, go back, buy them again. You can also use potions, high potions, anything you can buy. Phoenix Downs, or anything you can loot easily from enemies. And then what you want to do is check the stats of your character and fill them up as much as you can till you get almost to the max. And then you want to unequip stuff that already boosts their stats and equip bad stuff to boost them as much as possible. Now, that actually includes, it may include Materia as well. Because you'll see we don't get everybody up to 255. 255 is the max. Like, if you equip Materia that drops your speed by 1%, it'll show up as being 253, and things like that. We're not so worried about getting perfect, you know, status kind of things, but you could see the jump in speed for our character there. So I'm going to show you where to get speed sources, luck sources, power sources, and guard sources. Those are the 4 you can very easily do because enemies that can be morphed appear in groups. Now, the other 2, magic and whatever I don't know. I don't know what the 4th one. I don't have a list in front of me. One of them can be duplicated in a very odd way through the battle arena that we're not doing. I just didn't worry about it. Because you only have one character there, but there are characters called 8-Eyes there that appear in groups. And you can use, like, morph set to counterattack. To do the morph command, and then do the W item, and do the forever kind of. And then the other one, you just have to fight. Like, now you can also use the extended W item trick on enemies that steal things from you, so that when you get things, when you kill the enemy that stole something, it falls into that place, and it'll let you duplicate almost anything that way. However, it's almost impossible. By the way, these are the luck source guys. It's almost impossible to determine what item an enemy will steal from you, so it's kind of rough to fill up your inventory that way. But you could try it. I mean, it will work that way. You can duplicate armors and stuff that way. Now, to get power sources, which clearly are the one that are, you know, is going to be the biggest help from you, up here by the reactor in Nibelheim, there are these guys. I don't remember what they're called. But here we're going to find out. They're called Screamers. So we can morph them into power sources. And then you can just walk through the door by the reactor and go back to the save point. Now you can also morph other enemies in this area into things like high potions, and you can get ethers from them. So I suggest using those as, and you can see we're duplicating this power source all the way up to 99. So you can use like high potions and ethers and potions, and if you're good enough about it, you can do a really good streak where you keep, you know, you empty out your high potion slot, and then you end up getting a high potion from a different enemy, like during your random encounters, and then you can just do this again when you. And I actually got almost all the power sources I would need. I had to come back here for one set, I think. Now, I saved the easiest ones for last. The easiest ones are guard sources. And guard sources can be morphed from the spirals in around the Medial area. And because there's a shop right there, you can just go and buy, like, one. See, we got an ether there from the guys who, you know, jump on your heads and suck out your brains or whatever. So now we could use the one ether. Anyway, you, because there's a shop right by Medial, you can just buy your one items over and over and over, and then just convert them to guard sources one at a time. Go back and do it again, because spirals are really easy to hit. Like, we're really familiar with them. We were looking for them for chocobos. We were grinding X potions off them at one point when we were grinding in the Medial area. So we will have lucked out, or maxed out in all of our characters when we come back. Dexterity, strength, speed, and luck. which, you know, that's awesome. And you can see I do like a whole thing of... Now, I did ones there on the first 3. You don't want to do that because then you have to go out of screen. And you won't be able to see your stats increasing or your number of sources increasing as they increase. It was kind of a bad policy, but we're going to demonstrate what we're looking for anyway. You'll get the point. And I mean, do a little experimentation. Like, if my explanation of the extended W item trick doesn't work for you, look it up and then just try it. I mean, I had some missteps, but it does work. So there we go. We let guard source replace it. And then you select something you have a bunch of. And see, now we can't see the guard source going up in numbers because it's not on the same screen. As see, but they are going up in numbers, so we can do that. And then again, you just feed them all into a character and then just do it over again. It's pretty easy. Like, my suggestion would be you do Yuffie last because you're gonna wanna be filling up the 3rd character, because her Conformer is your best friend for morphing, especially the enemies in the Sunken Delica. Now, there are the other 2 sources that you can't W item trick because the enemies appear alone. They appear alone in the Sunken Delica with great regularity. So you can go in there and just fight, you know, hundreds of battles against those enemies, morphing them every time. I don't have the patience for that. I just don't. Like... Although having your stats maxed on magic could really, I mean, you know, your summons would just do, especially Knights of the Round, will just do 999 every time. So, that's stat maxing in its kind of most basic form. Yeah, so we don't get magic, I think it's Spirit, because Speed Source raises Vitality, I believe. Alright everybody, so when we come back, more bizarre Final Fantasy cleanup. I think we might be going after Emerald Weapon after this. You guys take care, and, bye everybody.